These are a couple tips for trailer loading and a horse that's not too sure about it yet. I always tie my door open if it doesn't have a latch, which this one doesn't. And before I even attempt to load my horse, I have a nice tasty bag of alfalfa up there. And you'll see I have a lunge rope or lunge line that I have thread through the first compartment all the way where I can easily reach it. And then on the outside window, it's just thread back through. Purpose of this is if my horse gets a little stubborn and wants to back up, I can quickly clip that lunge line to his halter and then grab the end of my lunge line so I have plenty of room to just maintain our position without losing ground. Now I'm not going to pull him in this way, I'm just being the fence post so that he can't go backwards. And then I always have a little buggy whip just in case I need to make a little commotion behind my horse, a little encouragement to step forward. I'm not whipping the horse. I never want to see someone whip a horse to get into a trailer. If the trailer loading has to be the horse's idea. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to point out is that oftentimes when people have trouble loading their horse, they walk in leading the horse and they get about halfway in, the horse stops, and then the handler turns around and faces the horse without realizing now you are in a confrontational stance. So when that happens, when you get here and your horse stops, don't pull, don't turn around, just be the fence post. All you need to do is maintain your ground so that he can't run backwards. And be patient, and he'll finally figure it out. You just have to be more patient than he is stubborn. Okay, and oh yeah, never mind my mess of a trailer here. This is kind of a working rig, so all the horses have taken advantage of it. So one of the important things about my rig when I was giving you the setup video is I forgot to mention that I use these they're like little quick release rings for training horses to stand tied. I can't think of the name that some of the trainers have given them. Anyhow, you'll see that this one is permanently fixed in the front position. So I can put my horse in by just threading that through here. It's kind of hard doing it one-handed. And turning that finger up. And then now there's some friction. So if my horse is playing around, he might get a little give, but he's not going to feel trapped. But also, if I need to get him out of there quickly, all I can do is do that. Okay, and you're probably familiar with those. But also, what's really helpful in my situation is I have a second one in the back slot. I think this is the most important place to have one, so that when I open that trailer door, if one of them decides to go hauling out backwards, they are not going to hit that lead rope and panic because they're solid fixed tied. However, I can still maintain a little traction so that if I have one hooked up in this fashion in the back slot and I open that back door, they still feel the sense of being tied in position, so they're not as likely to turn around and try to step out forward. They're more likely to wait for me once they've gotten used to this setup. Okay, and then the reason I keep this one in a temporary rig is because I can then take this off, bring it out here to the side of my trailer, and hook it on my trailer, and now I can tie my horse this way until they get really solid and confident about standing tied quietly. again, letting him reap his rewards. And you'll notice, if you're watching, when I sent him, I stayed in this position. I didn't tap him with my whip. I just raised it in what he has become to know is a driving position from our lunging lessons. And I just let him take himself into the trailer. Now, as we know, he's smart. I do believe he's been taught to send in because from the very beginning it was very easy for him. So, again, let him kind of reap his reward. Another thing I will point out once I get him out of the trailer is my hand position when I'm leading him. When I go to lead him, I don't have my hand upside down on the lead rope in this fashion. I want to take a hold of the lead rope under their chin like this and a loose grip, and I'm not walking ahead of him, so I'm pulling the lead rope. I'm actually with a loose, light grip, open hand. I want to think about more of a push as I'm walking with him. I'm just guiding him in there. It's almost as if the hand position you would use in a livestock showmanship class, that you are pushing them to stay in step with them. Okay, get him out. Again, I like my horses to wait for me. The hay bag helps them learn that. Pet him. Lie down. Okay, then I'm going to unhook Beau. And I'm going to stand here with my shoulders parallel to his body and pet him. Kind of a little grooming session that he's been a good boy. He's standing and waiting. And when I want him to exit the trailer, I'm simply going to turn and face my shoulders now towards the back of the trailer, and I am not pushing him out of the trailer. Again, I have an open hand on this lead rope, and I'm letting him find his way out of the trailer. Good boy. Good boy. And again, that position on the lead rope for leading him is just going to be loose grip, light open push under his chin. I did not turn around and face him. I did not pull on his lead rope. All I did was continue facing forward in the trailer and stood and waited patiently for him. And when I gave him about